Welcome to Unit 4. In this unit, we start by studying Fourth Amendment issues surrounding the search of containers. A container could be a briefcase, a backpack, or a purse, anything that's closed and may hold physical evidence inside of it. We start off by distinguishing the constitutional implications of searching a freestanding container and what happens when the same container is brought into a car. As you know from our previous work, there is an automobile exception, which allows police officers to search in a car if they have probable cause to believe there is some evidence in that car. They do not need a search warrant to search a car if they have probable cause. We have seen that the reason for this is the mobility of the car, which makes it unreasonable to expect that the police will find that same car again once they obtain the search warrant. Another reason for the automobile exception is that courts have determined that people have less expectation of privacy in an automobile than they do in their home or even walking on the street. When we talk about containers, courts have said that there is more expectation of privacy in a container, and this is why police cannot search a freestanding container without a warrant, even though they have probable cause. To give you an example, consider this. If the police have probable cause to believe that the briefcase a person is holding while walking on the street contains drugs in it, this briefcase should be considered a container, and the police cannot search this container without a search warrant. However, if the same container is brought into a car, the automobile exception would apply. If the police has probable cause to believe that there are drugs in this container and the person gets into a car with the same container, the police can then search the car and the container inside the car without a search warrant. Another issue we will be covering in this unit is consent search. Consent search happens when the suspect gives consent to the police officer to conduct the search. Consent from the individual allows the police officer to search that individual or their belongings without probable cause or a search warrant. Is the officer obligated to notify the suspect that he or she has the right to refuse this consent? Prevailing law and the court cases say no. There is no obligation for a police officer to inform the suspect of this. They are expected to understand and know this right by themselves. Another issue we will be discussing in this unit is third-party consent. By third-party consent, we mean that if a person shares an apartment or even a bag with another person, that person can give consent to a police officer to conduct a search of the apartment or of the bag without the other person there. The rationale behind this is that whenever a person shares something with another person, there's an assumption of risk. In third-party consent, pay attention to the scope of consent by a third party. The third party can give consent to the police to search common areas that the person has common authority. For example, if the person shares an apartment with another person, that person can give consent to the police to search common areas such as the kitchen, bathrooms, hallway, and living room. This roommate cannot give consent to the police to search another person's bedroom because this bedroom is not considered a common area. If the roommates share a bedroom, this rule gets a bit fuzzy, but in general, the police cannot be searching the roommate's bedroom without his or her express consent. What happens if one roommate gives consent to search the common areas of the apartment and the other refuses consent? Whose direction prevails? Recent court decisions have indicated that the occupant who refused consent would prevail. When you read the cases in this unit, you will understand the rationale. What happens when one roommate is asleep or away and the other roommate gives consent? In this situation, the roommate who is awake and available to the police can give consent for the police to search the common areas. However, if the roommate wakes up or returns home and refuses consent, then the search must stop. Enjoy.